Right guys, special attention for the Hutt family, direct descendants, any attached to the family who follow like VC Hutt and the brothers and one nephew, Horace. Not much mention of him, like I'm working on him today at the Coventry Library, been invited in. I work with the librarians at times, I'm good friends with them, been with them since 1988, on and off. I'm down from the north, I'm sorting out my own personal problems like with something in rugby. When I'm doing that, I've got a bit of space and time. I want to hand over like my knowledge, my researches and everything else of Arthur and his family. He's part of my family anyway. You know, the goings on, the guy was amazing, like even like receiving the VC cross and the loss of his brother Bertie straight away. Out in Passchendaele, like, you know, shot through the eye Christmas Day, how sad. There's a lot of detail to be given out. You know, the brothers and them used to drink around the Brewing Baker, Gosser Street, Stoke area, all the old pubs. Got all that to give you. The tank campaign, the Caterpillar tank, First World War. My uncle was involved, Arthur, like with sort of like charities and all that, and collecting. And again, detailed. If you want to find the memorial directly with Arthur, between the main gates down there, you can't miss them, they're massive. Walk past the barriers up here, be on your left hand side, you can't miss it. Walking up to the main memorial itself, any of the family out there, you're more than welcome to leave wreaths, flowers, anything at all. I show everything like, but next door, this is I ain't seen this is new to me, it's been put in, I don't know what year. Dedicated to the veterans who formed Coventry Airborne Forces Association 4th of August 1977. That's new. I'll be doing a bit of research on that because some of my mates up north, they're ex as well, like, you know. Connect them up with that. It's interesting. The Parachute Regiment. Military records, MOD, if you go on to Google, punch in MOD records, I'm not saying every single person or relation of yours, but if you put the name in, don't go wrong by the same sort of second name, because you've got to get the first name right. If you've got a middle name, that's a bonus. It will tell you the rank they were, where they served, like, can be restricted. It's not always clear. Sometimes the MOD won't release that. Same as military vehicles. You'll find out what sort of like regiment they served. You know, MOD are very cautious, which is a good thing really. I've done a lot of work like with the MOD, like not direct with them, but like for people, you know, finding lost relations. It's pretty interesting actually. I worked at Solar Glass when I was young, and John Hartley was my director. The Seligoff, like, he was in charge with us with a party. So what I'm trying to do, for number 8, Caledon Road, one of Arthur's houses, I'm trying to get a plaque put up. The one at Elsland, I'm not too sure at the moment, it's been like mounted on the wall, it's been allowed. But what I want to do is like some sort of bronze statue for him in the city of Coventry. So I'm going to dress, most probably, if I'm lucky, the Lord Mayor himself, or somewhere around that sort of area, that we can have some sort of statue put up with Arthur representing, like, you know, all soldiers, by the way, not a selfish little area here, but a statue of himself representing like the Royal Warwick Regiment. It's worth a try. It's not a guarantee. I think, yeah, 3 or 4 years ago, it sort of flew past. We had a sort of like memorial here for Arthur, laying of a stone. That's in the papers and all that. I noticed 1 or 2 come here with like cameras, big. Looks like it could approach like local TV, I'm not sure. But we laid that one there. I've just come from like London Road Cemetery, and I've been researching. I've got to go down to the burial sort of area, like, yeah, with the council, get some plot numbers. Some of the soldiers, like, yeah, which didn't, you know, survive the war. There's no stone, there's no crosses, like, so I've got to go and get numbers and find out roughly where they're buried, like. It's detailed, I'm not going to allow that out at the moment with information. It's pretty interesting what I'm going to do. I'll tell you what, that must have cost them a fortune. If you go on YouTube, you'll see with Cinefilm, again, because of Nathan found that. I think he's found maybe 2. There is 6. They're on numbers. Just a local sort of like a newsreel sort of thing, like, you know. There's lots to hand over, because I'm researching other things now. I'm doing HMS Hutt because 2 of my uncles, Uncle Arthur on the brain, Uncle Harold and Uncle Ted, that was the nephews to Arthur and his brothers. I think Horace was one of the relations like close as a cousin. That's right. They was on HMS Hutt. Lucky for them two, they was like moved to another ship, as they would have gone down with it, because there's only a couple of survivors. Uncle Ted, to you Hutt family, whether you're aware of this, was a champion boxer for the Royal Navy. So I've got to go down to Portsmouth. There's a building down there with photographs with him. If I'm trying to, like, you know, grab them and do a massive book, I don't know, I might even write a book. Never done one before, but collect all these photographs. The Coventry Telegraph, if you go through the old, sort of like the era 1914, 18, the old newspapers, it wasn't just the Cov Telegraph, there's like different newspapers holding a lot of photographs. It needs one of you guys, I ain't got the time anymore, it needs someone that's got plenty of time in their hands, it's not working or whatever, to go down and research. You won't get dates. I put some details in index drawers when I was doing my research. But if any of you got any time, guys, you're going to have to go through the newspapers for 4 years. On saying that, there's local magazines, they're really tiny. In the Coventry Library, there's vaults downstairs. You have to ask for them to bring them up. You can't get the right dates, I've mentioned this before. But most houses in Coventry during the First World War, I'm not sure about the second yet, I ain't done that. You'll see all the individual soldier, seamen, airmen like, yeah, outside their house with their family. If you're like interested in doing this, as I say before, I'm not nagging on about this, you can go down and pull it all out on microfiche. They're not on newspapers, not on paper, microfiche reels, and they're pretty, it's pretty interesting, because you find other things as you go along. You know, I was only doing it for half a lot, yeah, because I got them put in the paper back in the 80s. So, yeah, it's just waking up the past, you know, if you're interested in it. I mean, I've been researching since 1988. I've got my own ways of doing so, like, yeah, in cutting corners, doing it fast. I'm not calling myself an expert, my head's not growing, but all I'm saying is, once you get into it, you get the bite. And I tell you what, you find some very interesting stuff. On that final note, guys, I'm going to move over to Cotswolds. I've been asked down there for collect something, like attached to Arthur, like, you know. Like I say, once again, his medals, his grandson come along with him, like, so we have them now. We thought they was lost forever. There was a story going that they was in a grandfather clock in the paper bag down at the bottom. It's rubbish. They were safe and sound the whole time. All the best, enjoy your day, Hilton.